Thank you for joining me on my capstone project, the Community Resilience in Reducing Seattle's Food Insecurity. Food security is currently in dire need of restructuring as it disproportionately affects low-income communities of color, seniors, and uneducated people. As we know, the Trump administration has discontinued SNAP benefits to 42 million Americans, leaving many households currently in a food crisis. Nonprofit and food distribution programs are a big part of food accessibility, although authority can be taken away at any point. This is why I chose to research the lack of urgency and ask what barriers do Seattle neighborhoods face with food access and education on food justice, and what are the best solutions for struggling communities right now? I interned with the nonprofit Fair Start's food security team as a glean harvest lead and food distributor in their mobile food market. Gleaning is a practice of harvesting leftover crops from farms that would otherwise be wasted. I brought this fresh organic produce directly from the producer to the consumer. I conducted research by surveying willing customers about their biggest barriers to food access, their familiarity with the food system, and what would benefit them the most. After 40 survey results, mobile markets customers' biggest barriers to food access were transportation at 27%, other responsibilities, and education both at 18%. This included bus costs, time of markets, childcare, lack of information, and resources. The majority of customers I interacted with on the daily were seniors and made less than $25,000 a year as a household, many with children and entire families living in one home. I had the privilege to talk to customers about their livelihood and how a simple $25 voucher of free produce a week would help them provide meals for their loved ones. Although food distribution programs make a big impact, they cannot cater to everyone due to their nutritional background and culture. In the free response section of my survey, anonymous customers requested service resources like farmers markets, community gardens, food banks, and information about the food system to be displayed and given out, along with language support, translators, recipes, where the produce came from, and how it is grown. When asked a similar question of what would benefit their access to food the most, customers stated more resources and education as the highest result at 54%. Education distribution can be even more important than the social barriers of food access because of the unequal knowledge of nutrition. Most customers agree that there is currently a food crisis in Seattle, which is why understanding agricultural process can allow for appreciation and acknowledgement of the scarcity of food. The most significant takeaway from my internship and research was the need for more comprehensive community resources at mobile markets. The tangible data I was able to get back to Fair Start would have benefited their future seasons of food distribution in the summer. Although after me and my co-interns' positions ended, we learned that the program was disbanded for the foreseeable future due to funding and budget cuts. This also just shows how urgent the issue is under the Trump administration. For transportation, a solution involves expanding hours, sites for neighborhoods across the Seattle area. Their mobile markets already eliminate a big factor for transportation, but free transportation is also possible in every city. A good example of this is the New York City Transit Program and the Seattle Transit Measure, which would provide free Orca cards to low-income residents. Other responsibilities, information on community events and childcare options. A good example is Family Works, which offers family support programs that help holding parenting classes, skill building, home deliveries, and emergency preparations. For education, information on the food system, recipes, cooking demonstrations, agriculture, and sustainability at all markets. Good Cheer on Whidbey Island is a good example of this, which is a grocery-style food pantry for catering to families, open to anyone with also community gatherings on how to provide for themselves and support food resilience. Food literacy and education also will ultimately increase food security and benefit the complex system that prohibits food access in the United States. There is more than enough food, land, and people to ensure every individual with reliable, fresh produce. And lastly, for local initiatives, Ballard has shown up for its community in their Saturday farmers markets by participating with Farmore, which is a nonprofit that offers anyone with a SNAP or EBT card to receive up to $40 of fresh produce. This is why my suggestions to increase engagement in the food system for customers would have involved flyers, important community events, more verbal communication, and adaptation to other resources that are providing services that Veristar was unable to. This is also a example poster that would give descriptions on the produce, its origin, and other food resources. In conclusion, community resilience, local initiatives, and widespread education can help empower food insecure households without relying on the uncertainty of government assistance. In summer 2025, I contributed to reduce waste of gleaning by over 3,000 pounds, served over 2,000 households, and over 77,000 pounds of donated product over the entire year. The distribution of resources and knowledge would not only benefit food insecure households, but also the entire public on how they can do their part to support those who need it the most. Food security can be enacted with larger community uproar and individually planned programs. Thank you for listening. I want to give a special thank you to my site and faculty advisor for helping me during these last 3 quarters.